Hello, Namaste from India. I am Pradeep and I am going to talk to you on a very new science subject which is called bionics. And bionics means learning science from nature. So when you attend these lectures of the scientist, most of the time you feel very bored because you don't enjoy the lecture. And after some time, this what happens, people sleep comfortably. So I am a scientist. At the same time, I am a very good artist who can make cartoons, caricature, comics. So I will give you a very different kind of lecture where I'll take you to the world of Scientoons. What are the Scientoons? Scientoons are basically the cartoons based on science. And they not only make you smile and laugh, but they also provide information about new research subjects, data, concepts in a very simple, interesting, understandable, and enjoyable way. And this concept I started in 1988, and now it is famous all over the world. And I have delivered more than 1,200 lectures, traveling from Australia to Asia to Africa to Europe to America. This is, I remember a few years back, I visited Turkey. Muhammad Akif Ersoy University in Burdur, and these are the people who came to attend my lecture. You can have a glimpse of the audience. Now coming on to the main subject, what is bionics? She's the lady from America called Janine Benes. She's the one who gave the concept of bionics, and she says that when we look at the truly sustainable and the only real model which has had for a very long time, it is nature only. And basically, nature has time span of 3.8 billion years. And in this period, nature has done a lot of research work, lot of experiences nature has seen. And why not to learn from that? That is the basic aim. So it is also called biomimicry or biomimetics. And also there is a branch called bionic engineering. So basically, this you learn from the nature and you use that knowledge to solve the human problem. That is the concept of bionics or biomimicry or biomimetics. So for example, an ant, very small ant, can carry 50 times than its own weight. But we humans cannot. So can we learn this proper technology which ant is applying, and we can make our muscles very strong to carry heavier loads? So this is how the biomimicry or the bionics deals. So I use a cartoon. You can see the cartoon over here is a scientist watching, and he has a worm, and worm is telling to this ant that, look, he is not simply watching us. He will learn from us and then make millions. It's a high time we file a patent for everything we do. This is actually kingfisher bird. And this bird has played a very important role in development of bullet trains in Japan. Remember, the first bullet train developed in Japan was Shinkansen, and the speed was 300 kilometers per hour. When they had the trial of this bullet train, it was to pass through 22 tunnels. The moment it came out from the first tunnel, there was a huge noise in the 1/4 square kilometer of area, and it was unbearable. So people said, we don't want bullet train, stop the project. But the government of Japan said, no, we have to have a train which runs at a very high speed. That time, 300 kilometers. So what the government did, they asked the engineers to find the solution. So one engineer one day watching that the kingfisher bird, when she is diving to catch the fish, suppose 10 times, so every time she is able to catch the fish. Other birds, many times they miss the fish. So he got the idea that it is very quietly going and fish is unable to sense it. So what he did, he converted the shape of the bullet train engine like the beak of the kingfisher, and the problem was solved. And second thing, 10% speed also increased and 15% less electricity consumption of the bullet train. So this is a very simple example how learning from this bird or the nature, we have used the technology to convert that to run the bullet trains. A lot of people in our families, like our grandfather, grandmother, they are very old, 80, 85, 90 years old, and their bones are very weak. So sometimes when they are walking, what happens? They actually fall down, and then they may develop hip bone fracture. And because of that, chronic infection comes, and at that stage, operation is not possible, so they die. So one scientist in China, he observed the tea frog, and actually he found, now you can see this is the tree frog in the rainforest area. And this frog does not work like us, that does not jump. It walks like us. You can see him, he is walking. Just watch. Very slow speed. And this is, the place is full with rain, slippery, but he is not falling. And that scientist in China got the idea, what is there in his feet, and that he has to study. So what he did, when he studied, he found it has a very unique structure, and these groups allow the water to go out in different directions. Then these are the sucker kind of millions of suckers which make a grip, and that gave him an idea to develop shoes, chappals and sandals, which are, when used by our elder generation like grandmother, grandfather, they will not slip, they will not break their bones, and they will not die. Now yoga, which is very important for making you fit, mentally, spiritually, and also health-wise. Actually a gift of India to the whole world. Yoga started in 5th to 6th century ago, but in 10th century only yoga became very famous all over the world. And I know a lot of people in Turkey also, they do yoga, and they are very fond of doing several exercises. But who gave the idea of yoga? It is the animals only. When that time our great saints in India, they watched the animals, they found how they relax, how they keep themselves fit, and that's how the whole concept of yoga came. Now this is gecko. Gecko is just like a lizard, and she walks on the roof floor. So when she walks on the roof floor, it is so powerful, the grip of these limbs are so powerful that maybe like a 70 kilogram of a human being carrying a 700 kilogram weight on this floor, and he is walking upside down. So scientists got what is the reason here, and they found that they have these paws, their limbs have got millions of hair-like structure. When they put on the surface, they make a very strong grip, which is very, very strong, and that's how they developed new kind of shoes and gloves, where you can wear them and you can straight away climb 100-story building in case of an emergency. Now these are the flights, and the flights go up from all over the world. They are traveling, but you might have seen there are birds, and these birds, they come from Siberia to different parts of the world, especially in India. They fly 6,000 kilometers in the start of the winter. When the winter ends, they go back to Siberia, and that's how they travel 12,000 kilometers, but they don't use a single drop of aviation fuel. So scientists found what is the reason behind. That means their energy comes from food they eat, like some seeds, some worms, and some fruits. And it gave the idea to the scientists, why can't we develop new flights where instead of using aviation fuel like petrol, we can use the fuel which a bird eats, and that's how we can avoid pollution. So in future, the flights may be running not with the aviation fuel or petrol, but what bird eats. And second thing, they have got in the eyes a special protein that makes them very typical to sensing the navigation part, and that also we can learn from here. This is the actually hummingbird, and this hummingbird is the bird which is flying at a very high speed like a helicopter, but this bird is the only bird which can fly backward. So scientists are trying, can we learn from hummingbird and we can design helicopters or flights which can go backward also. And second thing, they found that it can make it stable while taking the nectar. It is flying continuously like that. So what they did, they put this hummingbird in a box and gave the side currents of the air, and they put sensor over here in every millimeter, and when they gave a current, it became unstable, but it stabilized, and that gives the idea to the scientist that what makes you and how much you can deviate and change the angle of the wings, and this will help when our flight comes during turbulence. You can see there is a problem in the flight. So in learning from hummingbird, we can create better flights in the sense that during turbulence, they will not shake too much. You might have seen fire alarms which we are putting in our buildings, And why? Because if there is any fire, we can be given information, prior information about that. But the range is very less, like 8 to 10 feet. But here is a small beetle insect. It is called fire chaser beetle, which can sense up to 60 to 130 kilometers away if fire is there. Why? Because it is searching always the burnt place for laying the eggs. So now scientists are studying this melanophila, or the fire chaser beetle, to develop better fire sensor, fire alarms, which can be not confined to 8 to 10 feet, but up to 60 to 130 feet. You might have seen honeybees, which are very, very important for us. And it is said that if honeybees are not there, we will not survive for more than 4 years on this earth. Reason is that they provide us food, fruits, everything. So honeybees have got a very unique eyes, and they can see in 300-degree direction. So Nissan is developing new kind of view mirrors, learning from the honeybees, where if you are driving a car, you can see in 300-degree direction, and you can minimize the accident because of that. Now, it was studied the shark's body is devoid of any bacteria. So what happens when you go to visit any hospital? Many times you get infection of the very dangerous bacteria, you get sick. So scientists learned from this what is the reason, and they found the surface of the shark is very rough, where no bacteria can stay. So they developed into shark-like technology, and what they did, they covered the hospital wall to the floor with this kind of layer of the technology, and so in future there will be no pathogenic bacteria in the hospitals, and they will create any damage for us. And at the below line of the ships also, this kind of technology coating can be done, so no bacteria or other things will damage. In hospital, you can see it can be used. This is the shell you might have seen. Shell is they are very, very strong, and this structure looks very close to a turbine engine or engine of an aircraft. So recently, these kind of shells are also obtained. Here you can see there is a difference. Scientists are concentrating on this. Can we develop better turbine engines and better aircraft engines, learning from these shells? So here is a small shell. His father is here. He is asking his father, Dad, if they design turbine engines of aircraft based on our shells, then will they allow us free air travel? So most of us, when we get injury, our bodies automatically healed up. Natural healing process is there. So Mercedes has brought up the first car in the world. If there is any scratches there, any damages there, what happens? The paint which is applied over the body of the Mercedes car will spread in the sunlight, and then what will happen? It will be automatically repaired and dent will be gone. I want to show you these shells are there near sea coast, and they are very powerfully attached to the stones. And their adhesive is very, very strong. So scientists are trying to use them for making plywood, because it was used formaldehyde, which can be toxic. This kind of glue is very important when we do surgical operations, and then in that operation you can use the glue while the blood is coming out from there. So they are talking, hi friends, get ready to help the surgeons in operation today. And I'll end with my talk with this small beetle which is found in Namibia, and Namibia is a dry desert near South Africa. There is no water below, no water in the air almost. So this fellow, this is a master water collector or a stenocara, what it does, it is putting its body upside down throughout the night, and by the morning, one drop of water it can collect from the air which is coming from the ocean side. Like the breeze which is coming, it can collect one drop of the water. And he's upside down because the water can go directly to his mouth. So one day what happened, he's very tired and he said, I want to give some money, please buy a mineral water for me. I am fed up, putting my body upside down. And here you can see, in the honor of this insect, Namibia has also issued a postage stamp, because the scientists from MIT and Oxford, they have learned from this small insect, and they have created a machine which can produce 100 liters of water, collecting every drop from the air, and that's how in the remote areas like hills and desert, you can have 100 liters of water every night ready for drinking, which through filtration is very, very pure. So at the end, I would like to end my talk here with quickly telling you something. This is the last present. When a baby is given injection, you see how the mother is affected. And baby is given injection for the first time. So she knows after the injection, he will cry like anything. So remember, mosquitoes, when they bite us, we never know that when they bite and they fly away. When they fly away only, then we realize a mosquito has bitten. So scientists discovered that it is a very sharp apparatus. It makes a cut, then puts anticoagulant in your body, then sucks the blood and then flies away. So they learned the whole thing and used the technology in developing syringe for giving injection to the kids in future, where when the injection will be given, the kids will not feel any pain and they really enjoy. So that's why now he is the insect, he is telling, as a common courtesy, will you humans please stop using various mosquito repellents and chemicals to kill me, because it's a very big problem of Asia and Africa. So with these words, thank you so much, Turkey, for inviting me, giving me a chance to talk to you. And there is my website. You can go through the website, Scientoons.com. You can be in touch with me. Thank you so much.